What's up, guys? Just a quick little thing I'm gonna say before this video gets started. I'm about to introduce it when the actual video starts, but I completely messed up the audio for this, and so what you guys are gonna hear is there's this weird little like echo before Damian talks every time because I think I don't know what the issue was. I think my mic was too close and it was picking up my headphones, but it's weird because you hear Damian's voice quiet before, then you hear his actual voice, but I'm really sorry. I'm going to fix that for the next episode. We did not pick that up when we were testing our microphones, which is the weird part. So I'm sorry about this little tiny issue that I have. I hope you guys can still enjoy this. It's pretty annoying. I can't figure out a way to change it. If anybody does know how to change, like not change this with OBS settings, but how to like format the video so that you can't hear it. I don't think that's possible, but sorry for this. I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into the video. What's up, guys? It's Priets coming back to you with another episode of Binding of Isaac. Today, I think, is episode 10, second week done. Today, I have a special guest once again with me.
Hi, that would be me, Damian, back here for a second time.
So yeah, Damian's back here. We're going to have a little bit of a chitty chat. We're doing today's video a little bit different. I pre-recorded the footage, so I am going to commentate a little bit every once in a while on that. But other than that, we are just talking over the gameplay. So right now on the screen, what you're seeing is I am picking my character. I was trying to decide who I was going to play. I decided I was going to play Forgotten, even though I hate Forgotten. And so we're going to head right into the gameplay and also head right into us talking about some cool stuff. Let's get right into it. So, Damian.
Yeah, that's me.
You came here today.
I came here today to the Jonas Binding of Isaac show.
And what was that question you had for me?
I had a question for you.
A question for me. Make one up. Make one up. Fast, fast, fast. Okay.
So, what's your favorite anime, Jonas?
So, my favorite anime by far is Hunter x Hunter. Wait, okay, so I don't know if I should say that. That might be a little racy, but Hunter x Hunter. So, basically today what we want to talk about is there's two topics we might talk about, but the first topic is Hunter x Hunter, or animes, but specifically Hunter x Hunter. Also, if you look in the video, I'm getting wrecked, so I just immediately restarted the run because it was bad. I lost too much hearts to start out with. But today we're going to talk about Hunter x Hunter a little bit. Why? Just because that's something that has brought Damian and I together through the years. So, we've mentioned it before. I think we mentioned it in the first episode about us having Jim together with us and Deshaun. Okay, it's out there. His actual name's Deshaun.
I guess so.
The thing is, JP and I had a little episode of us talking, and
I saw the episode.
And he was like, Who are you talking about? I'm like, JP, listen, stop.
We're keeping
stop
it
asking.
secret. No,
okay, it's Deshaun. It's Deshaun. Okay. So, also in the gameplay, I know Damien can't see it right now because I couldn't get it to show him. I forget that you can actually transform into his like little spectral guy and fly over and get items that are over rocks. Anyways, so back to what we were saying. So we had Jim with Deshaun. And one thing that would happen at the beginning of every gym class is we would just walk circles around the gym floor. Remember that, Damien?
I remember just us walking in squares. It wasn't circles.
Yeah.
It wasn't squares. Okay, get it right.
They never like it was a weird thing. They didn't make us run. They didn't make us do anything. But they made us just literally walk in circles or walk in squares around the gym floor for like
rectangles, Jonas. It was
for like 15 minutes. And so
yeah, it was.
What were you saying?
No, it was just great. Yeah, it was weird. It was really weird.
And so there was just one day that Damian and Deshaun decided to bring up the idea of animes because I had never watched any anime other than Dora the Explorer and Avatar: The Last Airbender and maybe Cory in the House on occasions. But
oh, a man of class. Absolute Chad.
But they brought up the idea of anime, and they were like, or Damien was telling me, dude, you need to watch SAO. And so he basically,
because SAO was freaking lit. That was the anime of the century. To me, I watched, that was my first anime, and I thought this was peak of entertainment.
But what you prefaced it to me a certain way, or at least we talked about it at one point, and you said a certain thing about the anime. Do you remember what you said?
I do
Like basically
not.
saying like we both agreed like it's not a fundamentally good anime.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember this.
So yeah, you say it. You say it.
Yeah, I guess I'll say it since Jonas doesn't want to say it. I said it wasn't a good anime. Like I didn't think it was like the best thing since sliced bread. But what I did think was this was a cool concept. Is it what you were gonna say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the concept of being stuck in a video game and if you die in the game, you die in real life. And I know a couple other animes do it too. And I mean, I think it's been done probably in movies at this point too as well. So I mean, I know it existed, but it's the first time I ever saw anything like that, and it was my first anime, so I had this like connection with it, and I just vibed.
Yeah.
I hate the word vibe.
Yeah. Vibe. Yeah. Yeah. It was like it was my first like real anime I watched. I think I might have watched Attack on Titan before that, but it was amazing. It blew my mind. Season 1 at least blew my mind. We don't need to talk about season 2 right this second. Season 1 blew my mind. Just the idea of like we love video games. That's what Damian and I kind of bonded over before any of this. And this was still early on. This was like fall of freshman year, so this was still us fresh being friends. But the idea of like having such like an intricate video game was just something that we would ooh and ah over. It was so amazing to us.
Ooh, uh-huh.
And so I remember like after that, it was just Deshaun trying to like tell us to watch different animes until one day Damon was like, Jonas, there's something important for me to tell you. Damien made a...
And I told Jonas that I had rectal cancer. Just kidding. No, I told Jonas. That's a story for another day, guys. Anyways, I told Jonas I had found this anime. It was on Netflix, and I was hooked. I binged it all, and or at least all that I could. And I remember telling Jonas, dude, this anime is the best thing I've seen ever since SAO, and you know SAO was peak of entertainment. This was only that much higher. I think I just found the next best thing after the Bible, and that was hyped. So I remember telling Jonas, you need to watch this.
Yeah, wait, real quick. So in the gameplay you guys are seeing right now, let me just tell you, I was like clenching my butt cheeks so hard, like I did not take a single hit in this room, and I was going freaking Matrix. Anyways, back to anime. Hunter x Hunter, he mentioned it to me, and I'm like, okay, how good can it really be? You told me SAO is great, now you're telling me this is great? Dude, you're like the boy who cried wolf. What make up your mind? And so, I went home, I watched the first episode, I'm like, okay, I don't get the hype as much, it's just like a little boy fishing, and like he goes on a boat. Then all of a sudden, it just jumps into like some crazy stuff. Like not anything too insane, but I guess we're going to go into detail. Spoiler alerts ahead. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff that happens in the show. If you haven't seen it, stick along if you want to. But basically, whenever you start getting to the actual hunter exam, it's like, whoa, this is kind of getting cool. Because then you start seeing people who do like crazy stuff and the idea of just having like these pro hunters. And so I was like, David, this is pretty sick.
So, yeah, I mean, I fell in love with it. I love the storytelling. I love the art, and like I said, this is the first. Technically, like I said, SAO is my first anime, and I mean, I could talk about SAO and Hunter x Hunter for a long time, but essentially, I saw Hunter x Hunter, and I thought this was actually good, and like compared to SAO, where I was like seeing just the anime opening and like thinking this is dope, Kirito all the way. Watch me dual wield some swords in Minecraft because I'm Kirito. I even had a Kirito skin in Minecraft for like a month because that was poppin'.
I also had an Asuna skin for like 5 seconds, and I remember jumping into a hole with Damien.
It was quite an eventful hole, but anyways. Hunter x Hunter, I was just so captivated by this little world that Tagashi, who's the creator of Hunter x Hunter, had created. It really, compared to SAO is very, I don't even know what tongue-in-cheek means, but I'm going to say tongue-in-cheek.
I like that.
I don't even know what that means. But it was very like, I felt like it was kind of like it wasn't taking itself too seriously. And at some points it was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
some of the storylines, I don't know, it was just very its own little thing, and like all the criticisms after seeing SAO of the show, I can see why it's not a very liked quote unquote anime. But watching Hunter x Hunter, I really appreciate it because from the very beginning, it's setting up the groundworks for this whole new world, and they're just bringing along, showing us what's going on, and I found that so interesting. All the characters and all their dynamics, I think everything's like so. Every character, I mean, for one, is so well written. In my opinion, Hunter x Hunter, how they just progress in the series. And just the actual storyline itself, I think Tagashi is a brilliant man. And I mean, Chef kisses to Tagashi. May he please get better as soon as possible to bring us more Hunter x Hunter.
Yes, but like, I'm just gonna add on to like it's the story is so good. If I had to like compare like the first like 20 episodes of Hunter x Hunter to SAO, I would probably say that like SAO as the story was much better in those 20 episodes, just because SAO was nice, a small little package. It was just it was like a little donut. It was amazing. But Hunter x Hunter, it's different. You have to eat the entire meal to understand like just how good it is. And so with Hunter x Hunter, I feel like it finally starts getting good. Whenever you get to the what is the battle arena? Oh, why am I forgetting?
Heaven's Arena.
When you get to Heaven's Arena and they start learning about the ideas of Nen, like everything up to that point was sick. It's like, whoa, this world's kind of crazy. These guys can fight and stuff.
It was so cool because, like, yeah, to that point, it was already establishing this world of like, oh, these are just people, and then there's just like these stronger people, and then like there's like a couple things where it's like, this is cool, but like, where does this go from here? Only to go ahead and find out they go, like Jonas said, Heaven's Arena, and we introduce this concept of Nen, and it just infinitely grows this world to like 10,000 times, and yeah, it just adds so much interesting and how would I say unique? Yeah, unique's the word I'm looking for. Unique things to the characters, and even builds these characters even more.
And I think if you were to like line up like the events that happen, like the moment that like the like exact part that like really just hooked me was like the arc was probably the York New City auction, right? Like that whole thing, the whole like them flooding the city and like finally showing off like very strong like Nen abilities. Like we saw Hisoka's already, but like we start seeing a bunch of people's Nen abilities. We see the Ova, what's his name?
Uvugan?
Yeah. Ovakin. I'm gonna call him Ovakin. Like Anakin Ovakin Skywalker. Yeah, whenever he fought the woman Kurapika, because Kurapika's a girl. That's our theory.
That's not really a hot take. It's not a hot take to be had.
We know it's a meme. But yeah, I think that part like of the story is just the hook. Because after that, that's when like the story like kind of turns dark and everything just starts developing more. Like, what do you think, Dave?
And what I'll say is, for me, I don't know what the thing is. I don't really watch TV. I don't watch TV shows. I don't watch movies. I don't watch anything really. But with that being said, I mean, I was hooked from I'd say probably like the second episode. I was like already like, I like this. But the part I think in the York New City specifically where it really, really like I thought this was like, okay, nothing's gonna ever get better than this. Same York New City arc, but it's when Kroyo, he's at the top and he's like conducting like his symphony of destruction, and like the whole city's like they're like just tearing it up and they're just like doing their thing, and I was like, this is sick. And then just the music, and that's a whole nother thing in itself. The music in this show is beyond phenomenal, and it's just so good.
So talking about the music. So Damien, have you seen Parasite or any of Parasite?
The movie Parasite or the anime
Parasite spelled with a Y?
No, I have not.
JP and I started watching it. We watched about 3 episodes in, and we literally like thought it was like the worst thing ever. This is the show that Deshaun was actually trying to get me to watch, while Damien was trying to get me to watch Hunter x Hunter. So JP and I were...
Yeah, I remember him telling him... I remember because there's a lot of actually tie-ins from Parasite and Hunter x Hunter, because I think Togashi, whoever the writer of Parasite is, he's close with them. So like there's like there's some Parasite Easter eggs in the Hunter x Hunter anime. And I remember Deshaun telling me too, like if you like Hunter x Hunter, you should watch Parasite because this show's popping. But I'll let you know.
So Parasite, like, I think the story is kind of cool. We watched it dubbed. I think dubbed kind of takes away like some of the coolness in like sometimes. Because Damien and I both, I think we watched sub for Hunter x Hunter, correct?
I watched sub.
So I did it after I watched the entire thing.
Yeah, I watched a lot of it with you. So I don't know why I said that, but yeah, we both watched.
So I went back and watched it dubbed, and it, like I still feel the same emotions, but I think that's because I saw it subbed. But watching Parasite starting dubbed, I feel like that kind of like it sets it a different tone. But the music in Parasite is awful. It is so awful, and I think that's what sets like Hunter x Hunter apart. Is what is it? Kingdom of Predators is one of the best anime songs, one of the best songs out there. Do you know what song that is?
I want to say yes. If you're gonna play it, go for it. But thing, like my favorite song of all time, it's a piano piece. It's Killua's theme. It's called Genpatsu no Shonen. It's my favorite. It's my favorite song to listen to. Like just listening to it can make me want to cry. Just like if I don't want to spoil too much of the anime to like anybody who's watching this maybe, but it's such a beautiful piano piece, and I just especially if you watch the anime, I can just put the scenes in my imagination, and there's so many. I'm pretty sure there's no song in Hunter x Hunter from the opening, the departure theme song. I love it to every closing song in the series, even though they're all like vastly different from the Hunter exam arc when like they're like metal like closing to like the beginning of the Chimera Ant where it's like this very slow lullaby kind of closing. All the music is so phenomenal. And to touch on something Jonas said a little bit earlier too about the subbing, watching both the English and the Japanese version, I definitely agree that subbing, maybe it's just because we saw it sub first, I definitely think that sub has so much more emotion. At least the voice actors on a lot of these shows, their voice acting is phenomenal. Like the person who voices, or I know it's a girl, but whoever she is, I don't know her name, but the way she voices Gon is so, especially in the Chimera Ant arc, and I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's in the big scene of the anime, the voice acting there is just so spot on, and it's English version. It's really good too, and a lot of credit to them because I mean they have to live in the shadow of the sub version, in my opinion. Yeah. But it's still really good for what it is.
And I think what it might be is it like, I think anime is a hard thing to voice act for, and I think it just might be that it's easier for us to think that like the dubbed version can sound cringy at times.
Yeah.
So no offense to anybody out there, but like I think that might be the reason. Also, Damien, can I play this and not get like a copyright strike? Can I just play a quick tidbit of it?
Quick tidbit. Okay. That's it. Just a quick tidbit.
This is gonna sound bad. This is gonna sound really bad. I should not be playing this through my mic right now. But listen, this is our scuff thing, and I also got a double ad, so that sucks.
Oh, you don't have YouTube Premium? Cringe.
I don't.
I'm listening. Anybody, I don't want Jonas to get this video taken down. Yeah, okay, we can stop it there. I know what song it is if they want to listen to it. A beautiful song. That is an amazing song.
It is probably, I think, one of the best songs in anime. Like, it fills me with just, like, little butterflies almost.
I think it's one of the best songs, like orchestra, like, pieces in general that I've ever listened to. Mm-hmm. I mean, wow. Like, just to the point, this anime's music is amazing. Yes. And I mean, there's nothing more you can say besides wow to the story, to the music in the show. I have the full. I don't know why I made you go through all that. I have the full. Album on my computer.
Yeah. The thing is, if anybody wants to listen to it, I mean, if you haven't watched the show, it's basically just look up like Hunter x Hunter. It's the exact title of this thing is Hunter x Hunter 2011 OST 3-1 Kingdom of Predators, and you've probably heard it before. I can almost guarantee you've heard it before because lots of people use it for memes. Lots of people use it for lots of stuff, but it's just like, it's so good.
So good.
But going back just like the general feel of it, like it's such a good anime. Like Damon, do you want to get more into like just talking about like what we liked about it or what? Or
I mean, there's a lot of stuff I like.
Do you not want to like go into anything spoilerish?
We can go into spoilerish. I mean, anybody who's like going in here, I mean, just warning, there is going to be spoilers. I mean, there is some heavy spoilers, but I mean, with that being said, spoilers again. Please leave if you haven't seen Hunter x Hunter. Please do yourself the favor and watch the show. It's so good. I promise you will not regret it. It's a lot of episodes. It's 143 episodes, but I promise you won't regret it. But what I've seen, at least one of my favorite things about Hunter x Hunter, and this is coming from somebody I haven't watched almost any anime besides SAO and Hunter x Hunter. So I mean, I'm not really I'm not qualified to really speak on all of anime, but from everybody that watches a lot of anime who I talk or I listen to about this show, the one thing that always comes up that is really interesting or two things kind of completely separated. But the first is the power leveling in Hunter x Hunter is so well written, where I feel like it's really like you can really see like how there's like these different power levels. And it's not just like anybody can go Super Saiyan at any moment, and just like pull something out their butt, just because it's an anime. I really do think like the Tagashi really took in a time, like the idea of having the conditions. You can set conditions to make your powers more powerful, and of course there's this natural ability, of course, but you can train this up. And like for Netero, who trained for like 30 years and the mountains, trying to like focus, his only thing he did for all those years was punching and focusing on that. Or like Takura Pika, who is very naturally gifted, and has to make himself even stronger, set a condition that if he broke that one condition, he would lose his life. And then the second thing I want to touch on is, and I think this is a bigger topic for discussion, I'm not sure if you want to even go into it, but is the, I guess, the final battle, quote unquote, in the anime, which is Gon versus P2, which is kind of like I would say the final battle of the anime, really.
I think you're forgetting about the Leorio and Jin fight.
Yeah, I guess that does happen too. But for the Gon fight, it's the first time in any, at least from like people like who've watched a lot of animes, where they see what's really interesting about this power up compared to like a lot of shonens have like their protagonist like do like their ultimate move and like do something. But the thing about this one is it is so dark, and how Hunter x Hunter is written is actually so interesting because it leaves a lot of things where it really makes you think. And one of those things that I always touch on and always think about is kind of the question between what's good and bad. And if you see the journey of the two, I would say the two main characters, really the main villain and the main hero of the story, the main hero being Gon and the main villain being Miriam, how they actually follow the same exact path but just opposite of each other. One starts being so human and ends up being a complete monster by the end, which is Gon, where you don't even know if he's the good guy in the end. At the end, like you see him win his like final fight, but it feels so wrong because pretty much every other shonen that I see, like the power up, it's such like a powerful, like he's like gaining his strength or she's getting her strength, and it's like a empowering moment. It's like really colorful animation.
It's like he's the hero.
When he's the hero, when Gon does his, you literally, a credit to the art too. I mean, we didn't even mention the art and the anime, but you literally see the soul leave Gon's eyes. The whole thing just looks dark and eerie. The music again complements. You have the soul of Gon is gone. Like it's, instead of like a bright, colorful power up, the screen, everything goes to like this hand drawn animation where it's like black, and he's like, he lost himself, and it's like this. Like I said, the writing is so beautiful because as Gon has lost his morality, lost this human side of him, on the opposite side of the spectrum, which another interesting about this anime that I'll see a lot of people always bring up too, is the main villain never fights the main hero. They never even cross paths. So that's also a really interesting point to the story. But we see this, and then on the opposite side of the spectrum, like I said, Miriam's becoming human. Honestly, he's like he's starting to understand humans and coming to like a point of understanding. and it's so interesting to see this parallel that he created and set up in this world and just set up for the story.
Yeah, like as you were like saying, the art is amazing. It does have this like weird, all of a sudden weird aspects of like darkness. It feels like the show flashes between like the childhood fairy tales and like the what's the one Grimm fairy tale. What's that book called? Oh my gosh, why am I so dumb?
I don't know.
But it's like where like all like the original fairy tales were that like show like the dark side to the fairy tale. It's on the tip of my tongue. Why am I so dumb?
I know what you're talking about too. I've watched it. Not Once Upon a Time.
Anyway, so
I'll look it up.
So
while
Damon's
you talk.
gonna look it up, but like it's crazy like how the show, like as Damian said, it's so beautiful how they write the story and just how they show these parallels and how they create so like intricate of a story that every piece has something to do with each other. That characters who don't even interact like have such a hard effect on each other. It shows like the butterfly effect. It shows all that kind of stuff, and so it has like this facade of on the front. It's two 12-year-olds. How are they're about 12, right?
I don't know the exact age, but it's about like they're 12, and I think by the end of the anime they're like 14.
And so,
if I'm not mistaken,
the show is literally about two kids and their like best friendship. Honestly, you can almost summarize it like that. It's much deeper than that, but all of a sudden, sometimes you just dip into this gritty, just dark side of the story, and it's a more of the parallelism that Damian was talking about, like that just like creates this amazing story that like rises up the really good scenes. Did you find it, Damian?
No, I can't find it, and I'm gonna go.
I think it's Grimm
now.
Fairy Tales, Grimm Fairy Tales, Grimm.
Maybe we're thinking of two different things too. But regardless, like Jonas was saying, storytelling, it really can come down to, it's a story of Gon and Killua, which are the two main characters, I would say, and kind of their journey through, I guess his journey to finding Gon's dad. And like, if you watch the anime, you'll see, and how it kind of ends is, at the beginning, Killua is not a person himself. He's kind of like, he doesn't really have his own path. He's really lost. He's a really lost soul. Like, he was tortured his whole childhood, all of this stuff. So it's really seeing the journey between these two, them grow, finding themselves, and them becoming friends, and their journey of friendship. And I think the best quote to go off of is literally the ending quote of the show when, major spoiler, Gon finally meets his dad. When he's meeting his dad tells him that the important thing is not the ending itself, but the journey along the way and all the memories you make. And that to be the friendship that Gon created with Killua and Kurapika, Leorio, Bisky, and everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just it's such an amazing show. If nobody's seen it, hope you guys didn't not listen to the spoilers, but it's a must watch. It is hands down one of the best pieces of art, pieces of film that I've seen. I think I kind of want to like kind of taper off this discussion on this, because Damian and I, spoiler alert, are going to be talking about this more in the future, or Damian at least might be talking about this more in the future. Who knows what I'm talking about? That's okay. I'm saying that, right, Damian?
Totally fine. Well, it'll be soon to come. Maybe ? It'll be
basically, we love the anime, so of course we're going to talk about it maybe on a podcast more and get more in depth, and maybe make a whole podcast, like a episode that's not just talking about us introducing that and making a more dedicated podcast. But I want to like leave off on one thing that I got so mad about for the show. There is this really weird plot hole that I think like is one of the plot holes that I don't know if it's a real plot hole, but the one that I thought existed was the idea of somehow, like, it seemed like nobody knew about Nen in the beginning of the show, yet by the end of the show, everybody knows about Nen. Like, literally everybody knows about Nen. It's this weird thing. It's not a plot hole, but like Killua's family, like, literally all have Nen abilities, and it just blew my. I was like, I don't understand why this is like this.
Yeah, it's a weird one because how I just see it at first is Nen is not this widely known thing. Um, Nen is definitely something that they try to reserve for the strong because it is such a powerful thing. As we'll even see if you read the manga, even bigger spoilers. But we even get to a point where we meet some of like the world's like most powerful people, and majority of them don't even know what Nen is. They don't even know anything about it. So in my head, what Nen always was like this very hidden thing where like you could learn. And it was very a select group of people that know it. It's just by the time that we end the anime, the group we're surrounded by is that entire group that knows Nen. I mean, the final act of the show literally takes place at the Hunter Association, which, as they say in the first arc, them learning Nen is actually the beginning of them becoming a hunter. So of course, everybody at the Hunter Association they would know Nen, but in reality, at the world at large, I feel like they wouldn't know about Nen. Again, the biggest plot hole I see is Killua's family, being that Killua's brother knew Nen, but somehow Killua
Also, his little
himself,
sister knew
uh,
Nen.
it's actually a little brother, but
No. I'm talking about.
no, there's no sisters in the family.
Wait, the one who does the paper mache stuff is a dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, meme.
um, except I guess Killua's little sister is technically a sister. But that's a whole nother conversation about a lot of stuff. But anyways, yeah, the only thing I could possibly see with that is they always refer to Killua as like the chosen one for the family. He's the one who's like stronger than any of them. Like he's the prodigy. He's the prodigy. And maybe in my defense to that is they never taught him because he might have become too powerful. So they were trying to still make him grow and be an assassin, but not exceed to the point where they couldn't control him. That's my only theory. But of course, I'm not Tagashi. I'm not really sure.
So one of the big I just kind of thought about this, but like the biggest plot hole about the whole Nen thing is literally Heaven's Arena. Like random people go up in and watch the fight, like the Hisoka versus the silver hair dude. I'm sorry if I'm not remembering. They all watch these fights.
I don't remember.
But the commentators are literally talking about the Nen. Like it's weird. Like there's like discussion about the Nen, but at the same time the commentators don't know what Nen is, and it's this whole weird, just like I don't know.
It is weird. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe like Heaven's Arena, like for the higher things, you have to be like a hunter or something to go see. I don't honestly don't know how it works because I'm even thinking even way forward into it. In the manga, same thing. Just in Hunters, in Heaven's Arena when Kroyo and Hisoka end up fighting there, the commentators still talking about it. The whole crowd is like engaged in the fight. So it's like I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird one, and I'm not sure I can defend it, but like I said, I'm not Tagashi, and I try not to think about it too much because I don't want to ruin it.
The thing is, I don't think it's an issue. I think it's well explained of just the idea of there are other people in the world who are literally just so powerful that they can almost explain why some people have these like superhuman abilities even if they don't know about Nen. Because like Killua, before he learned Nen, he could like push a like 2-ton wall. He could like he could make his hand into like a sharp knife. He could do all this stuff, which is superhuman, but that wasn't with Nen. So I can see why, like, nobody questions it almost.
Yeah, I definitely do see that. And like I said, honestly, I think there's, as much as like I want to say it is a plot hole too, I think like I feel like it can be explained, like you mentioned, like these things can be explained, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, we really the poor not the poor people. I didn't mean to say poor people. I meant to say weaker people in the world. They almost seem like so irrelevant in this story, like what this world is. Like they really don't play a part in it. Like if you are even some level of powerful or of trying to do something important, some way or another, you're gonna find out about Nen. And I think that's it's an interesting thing. Also, I'm not sure if I am correct here, but I feel like you're not supposed to talk about Nen. I'm not sure. I feel like I faintly remember that being like one of the rules of like the Hunter Association, but maybe I'm just making that up.
Well, because Killua and Gon's teacher, I think he did.
Wing?
Yeah, Wing's Han.
Yeah.
He taught them fake Nen. Whenever they first did it, because his little apprentice. Why am I like blanking on names? Who's Wing's apprentice? The guy who.
No, I can't.
So.
Just keep talking.
So his little apprentice accidentally tells Gon and Killua about Nen, the idea of Nen, because he shows it off during one of his fights, and Wing yells at him over the crowd. But Wing goes and teaches them fake Nen, and there's kind of like the whole principle of like don't teach people Nen because it's a powerful thing, and it can be used for dangerous reasons. And so he does allude to the idea of people just don't talk about Nen. So, yeah, but I also feel like. So on the Dark Voyage, right? That's what it's called? Dark Continent arc.
The Dark Continent, the Voyage to the Dark Continent.
So there's people who are bodyguards who go there who don't know Nen, correct?
Correct. And I know his name is Zushi.
Zushi, yes. Bro.
But yes, there are opponents who do not. They're bodyguards that don't know Nen.
Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of it. I don't think it's as much of a plot hole as it's just like it's just hard to really understand like. It's such a crazy world. Like honestly, there's probably so much detail behind it that like we just don't know about like why we have these questions yet.
And another thing is, as much as I consider myself a pretty big fan of Hunter x Hunter, I still haven't fully actually read the manga, and I know a lot of things are explained in the manga that aren't explained in the anime. So maybe it's better explained there as also.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, everybody says reading the book is better than watching the anime, but I'm pretty sure there's not. Do they skip out on some stuff that's in the manga?
Yes, some stuff that is very changing of the story or how the story plays out. One of the biggest complaints actually of the manga, the 2011 manga, that the 1999 manga did, and as well as just anime did. Sorry, 1999 anime and the manga does, is the series actually opens up with Kite saving Gon when he was a kid.
Oh yeah.
And it builds the story so much better. I've seen a lot of people like talk about this, and I do agree. It builds the story so much better than just starting off as Gon wanting to be a hunter, because how the manga and the 1999 anime start is Gon finds a little cub bear in the forest, and then Kite saves him, but he's forced to kill the mom bear. And up till this point in Gon's life, Gon was under the assumption that his dad was dead, but it turns out that this guy, who's Wing, is Gon's dad's apprentice, and he lets him know, like, no, your dad's alive. He's a professional hunter. He's like one of the best that there is, and it really like gives Gon this incentive, and it really gives him the character start to like why he wants to be a hunter and why there's this motivation. It's really interesting, and I do think that the anime, I get why. I've seen like explanations why they didn't do this, because they wanted to go ahead and get this show up and running as quickly as possible to get good ratings. But that one change, I think, would have made the anime that much better and much more impactful for eventually when Kite does die, or even like when he meets Kite again, and everything just comes full circle in the story. If that one scene would have been changed, but it is what it is. Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So with that, I think that's where. So Damon, we still have about 15, 16 minutes left on this thing. I want to switch to a different topic, but
Go for it.
Hunter x Hunter, one of the best shows out there.
Watch it.
Go watch it. You'll probably hear us talk about it more at some point in our lives, because it is part of us. We love it. We love it so much. But I kind of so basically, let me preface everybody who's watching. So right now, I'm like in the market to buy a camera. I'm buying it, like doing that kind of stuff. But Damian and I have just always, Damian especially, has always loved photography and videography. And so basically, like, what we're doing now is I'm getting like a camera, and we're just going to start making videos. At least I'm going to start making videos. He's been making videos. But I kind of just want to talk about just like how cool cameras are.
Camera cool.
Camera cool.
Yeah. I mean, I got my camera about a year ago. Actually, more than a year ago now. A year and a half ago. Yeah, it was about a year and a half ago. I got my camera, and for as long as I can remember, at least like me and Jonas have always wanted cameras. Like we even had like a lot of like mock photo shoots like in Jonas's backyard. It was actually if you saw Jonas's thumbnail the other day with the episode he did with JP, that was from our mock photo shoot that we did. I guess it wasn't a mock photo shoot; it was a straight up photo shoot.
Was that with my camera at the time, or was that with our phones?
That was with your Note.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Because you were so hyped because the camera was so good, and you had the best phone out of us at that time.
Because what did you have, a 4S?
So I like a 4 or like something really like garbage. Yeah, I mean, photos is something I've always wanted to get into. Then eventually, I saved up enough money to get a camera. I got the A6400 at the time. Really great. I wouldn't say it was brand new, but it was pretty new at that point. And I bought that. I bought a whole bunch of camera stuff, and I did take a lot of photos. Actually, I mean, I didn't post them anywhere. That's the thing. But a lot of like family events, I took photos for. Like I even did my aunt's baby photos and things like that. And now it's coming full circle where Jonas is getting. Can I say which camera? The 6600?
Yeah. So a Sony Alpha A6600. I don't know exactly what else I'm getting with it. All I know is that's what I'm getting, and I'm just figuring some stuff out right now. But I wanted to mention, I think one of the first times that other than like us taking like mock photo shoots and that is like us like talking about our love for like a nice camera equipment was when Matthew Haig started filming his videos with I think a Sony Alpha Ace Mark what
A7 something.
A7,
it was an
yeah.
A7. I'm not sure which one, but it was an A7.
I just remember like there was one day that we were both just like, bro, have you seen like how nice Nate Shot's videos look like? Do you remember that? I think
I do. And I mean, I really, the thing is, I really love technology and tech, and it's a very bad hobby and like interest to have because it's so expensive. I mean, my camera equipment in itself costs over $4,000, as much as my PC, which is a god tier PC. My camera stuff my camera stuff isn't even that high end. It's really not even like top of the line. But yeah, it's so cool. I mean, seeing this like technology and like when we saw that first Nate shot when he switched over to like a way better camera, it's so interesting. And I mean, I love learning about this camera, like the big camera fundamentals and how cameras work and things like that. But yeah, I'll let you take it.
So Damon kind of talked about like just our like interest in photography, but my dad, whenever he was in college, he actually worked as like I would say the word apprentice for a wedding photographer guy, and so he would take wedding photos, and then he would sit down with this like super good photographer, and he would point out all the flaws in his pictures, like constructive criticism. Then after that, whenever I was young, I lived in Italy, and my dad actually would, everywhere we went, he would take pictures with his, it's some sort of Canon, maybe Nikon, I don't remember what it is, it doesn't matter, but it was, at the time, I think it was like $200 to get, I think like a 5 gigabyte card. Like, it was expensive, because it was a different time, but he took pictures, and he actually made a book, and since then, he's always had my brother and I, and just like take pictures, and my dad and I always talk about taking photos and like the idea, like the fundamentals of taking a good photo. Like if I take a photo of anything, I'm like, what, like, tell me more about this. Like, what do you think? Like, what could I have done better? And so I've always just had a big interest because my dad has just always had an interest in photography. I wouldn't say, it's not his job. So he's not like, I wouldn't coin it professional. He shoots very good. He does very good photography. But, yeah, it's just, seeing him do that, I've always just had this love of just that one photo that just, for some reason, is just perfect.
Absolutely. And I mean, a good photo is a snapshot in time. And I mean, to me, that's like something so beautiful when you can just capture a moment for like ever. Um, and that's why I just really like photography too, and I want to do more of it. But I don't know. I guess I don't really have anybody to take photos of, like on the normal. And then also like, I mean, yeah, it's really just that. I really don't have anything to like model. Like I could go ahead and do like nature shots, but I live in the middle of the desert, where there are some cool things to get photos of, but a lot of those things are very overdone.
They're gonna eat him.
So
that's what he's talking about. Coyotes.
What?
Coyotes.
Oh, there are coyotes.
Snakes.
Yeah, there are a lot of coyotes, especially on the mountain. But I mean, I really like, one of my biggest regrets is like not having a camera when I went to like Hawaii or even when I went to Virginia. We'll talk about that another day, but like I took a trip a couple summers ago to go visit Jonas and JP and chilling out. Like having a camera then would have been the sickest thing ever. But regardless, yeah, I'm not sure how much longer we have in this video.
We still have like 9 minutes. We have a good amount of time. I'm just gonna take this time right now. So everything in this run was going so well. A little bit of foreshadowing, but as soon as I got to Shale, or not Shale, basically whenever I got to Dark Room, I forgot what it's called. Why can't I not think about it? But whenever I got there to where Mega Satan is and the Lamb is, for some reason, all the boss fights were just getting dumb, and I was taking dumb damage, a lot of dumb damage, and I'll talk about it more in a second, but I'm also going to go back, talk more about the photography. Like, Damien, you know that feeling when you just take a bunch of pictures, and then you take a picture and you're like, this is
The one. Absolutely, yeah.
So, there was a picture, going back to my my Note 4, there was a picture I had as my lock paper screen that was...
Was it the one where there was a lot of me and one you?
No, I'm talking about...
I'm scared.
My background was a picture of a flower that was like perfectly framed in the photo, and there was a bee flying. Do you remember that picture at all?
Yeah, I do remember that picture, yeah.
The whole story about that picture is I did not line it up well, and I got scared because the bee flew at me, and I took the picture, and it just looked so good. Like, the rule of thirds, the flower was like perfectly framed, the bee was like... It just looked so good to me, and I could not comprehend it, and I'm just like, this is good. And it's almost like, maybe I'm not saying I have experience, because I don't have experience with any sort of like chasing the dragon drugs or anything, but like it's like chasing the dragon. It's like, I want to do this again. I want to take that kind of picture. So, yeah.
No, yeah, I think the first picture I ever took that really, and this was like with an iPhone 5S, and it just came out really good. I'm not sure if you've seen the picture, Jonas, but it's like at the National Harbor with like the Ferris wheel when it's green, and it's like a perfect like sunset.
Oh yeah,
it's one of my favorite photos I've ever taken. I really loved that, and that photo is like, at that time I took it, and I was like, I wanted a camera so bad, and I mean, I wanted it through all of high school. That was like my freshman year. That might even been middle school still. But that was freshman year. I'm looking at the date now, and honestly, ever since then, I wanted to be like have a camera, and then to the point now where I have it, and I want to shoot more stuff. I might be putting on my Instagram, because I know Jonas said in his other video that he is planning on putting out maybe on his Instagram, maybe on the Priets one. We'll see. I mean, what both of us do, but I mean, regardless, I do love taking photos. I do have a bunch of nature photos that I have taken. I used to have them posted on my Instagram, but regardless, photos are cool. I love them.
Yeah, like one thing that it's dangerous. Damien, have you ever scrolled through the Reddit, just like the Sony Alpha Reddit?
What's dangerous?
Looking at that, because literally, okay, Damien and I are pretty similar when it comes to shopping. And wait, real quick, let me mention this. So, Damien, I walk into this room, like this is what's happening in the game. I walk into this room, it spawns 4 of this one boss in this tiny room that's constantly teleporting around, throwing bombs everywhere, and I just take dumb amounts of damage. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Whenever I go to buy stuff, I'm always like, okay, I want this, and I start out really kind of like modest. Like with Damien, I'm like...
And like Jonas said, we're very the same.
And originally, I'm like, I'm going to get the A6400 with one lens. But now I'm like, I want to get the A6600 with this variable zoom lens, this prime lens, a gimbal. You know, I want to get the whole 9 yards. And so, whenever I scroll through the thing, I'm like, oh, but if I only spend this much more money, I can get a A7 III. It's an A7 III, right? What's it called?
Yes. Oh, there's a whole bunch. There's an A7 III, A7R3, A7R4,
But I'm just
A7S2.
like, it's just a little bit more to get that. But then all of a sudden, like at like $6,000. I'm like, what the heck? I don't have anywhere near this money. But like looking at that Reddit, it's everybody's posting that picture I was talking about. You know?
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's that one shot, the bucket shot, and it's so. The thing is, I hate that it's such an expensive hobby. I mean, I feel like I have very expensive hobbies. I really like headphones. I love audio. I wouldn't consider myself an audiophile because that, but I mean, Jonas knows my problem where I might have bought more HomePods than I needed. Uh, I have like I'm looking into buying like a whole amp and DAC set with some biodynamic headphones. I love audio. I love computers. I love everything about computers. And the thing is, I know I don't need this stuff. You know, I always think back like my camera is on my phone is a really good camera, but I do like just the control you have with an actual camera itself and the quality. Like it's I wouldn't say necessarily that it's better, but it definitely is different when you actually have full control of everything. But regardless, because I know there are some like professional things that are shot with iPhones. But regardless of just that spiel, yeah, seeing like people's like that one photo and it's like, oh man, like I really want to get into
Yes.
astrophotography. But the thing is like I would have to go somewhere like listening to you and JP's video. I'm not sure if it was you and JP's video, but when you guys talked about going to Minnesota and seeing the Milky Way, like I mean, I just want to go somewhere like that and just like have my lens and like take that like long exposure shot, get that astrophotography. Uh, yeah, I'm just like that's so. It's a very addicting hobby. Like it's very like not cost effective
Yeah.
hobby because
It's
these things are expensive. Like I said, I'm already like $4,000 deep on my camera setup. I mean, I have like a really nice tripod. I'm showing Jonas. I've shown Jonas actually, but I bought this like really nice lavalier set. I have a whole bunch of Peak Design products. I have a whole bunch of photography gear, and it's just like it adds up. It really does start to add up. And same with like any other hobby, like the computer things too. Like at first, I was like, I'm gonna get this, like pretty like middle of the road, but then I ended up with like a $4,000 PC, and then
yeah.
things just start adding up. It's all of it's very
Yeah,
expensive.
and I'm just gonna roll off of that and just say we have expensive hobbies. We do a lot of stuff, like lots of stuff. And one thing we're excited to do, especially with YouTube, is get some use out of these hobbies. Like with our with our computers, we're like, at least we can make like videos with these like cameras. Maybe we can make good videos. Like Damian's videos qualities are so good. There's only about like 2 minutes left, but I just want to say there's gonna be a lot more content, especially whenever I get my camera. I'm probably gonna make like just a little like B-roll footage, like a little intro with my camera, and just do maybe an unboxing or some sort of just review and just showing off like my first time using the camera. Because I want to try to take a bunch of pictures every day and post like one picture a day and see how much better I get over the summer after actually learning how to take pictures correctly.
Absolutely.
And I think we mentioned that I'm trying to come down to you this summer, correct?
We have mentioned it, I think.
And so basically when that happens, I don't know what's going to happen. It's probably just going to be Damien and I just taking pictures of each other, you know. Damien in the shower, click, 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 you know. But yeah, so that's going to about wrap it up. Damien, do you have any quick little things to say?
No, I mean, Hunter x Hunter, please watch it and keep an eye out for Jonas's photography. It'll be dope.
Yep. And so we have about this last like couple minutes, and I'm just gonna basically narrate what's happening in this boss fight. So right now I'm fighting the lamb. It's about half health, right? This was some of the dumbest thing. I was pretty confident that I was gonna be able to beat lamb, but I was just taking so much damage because I don't know how to play Forgotten. So, Damien, if you don't know, Forgotten has like a melee attack, and then you press the right trigger, and he has this like his soul comes out, and they're two separate entities, and if one dies, they both die. And so I'm fighting the lamb, and the whole time I'm just losing health. And then right now I just get down to one soul heart, and I'm about to switch back to Forgotten, because he has a bone heart, and then I don't do it. I die because I run to the thing, or run into the brimstone, and it was just the saddest defeat out there. And so that wraps up this video. The video has stopped playing at this point, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry that I keep dying. I keep saying it like every video. I feel like I haven't actually done anything, but I did get an achievement in this video. I have been getting achievements, and what matters is I'm getting achievements, and I'm getting closer to that 10 million, 10,000. I don't know what the number is. Like, there's too many zeros to count, but I hope you guys are enjoying. See you guys next time. Damian, got anything to say bye? Say bye.
Bye, guys.
So yeah, bye guys. Peace out.